Hi everyone, we from Group 4 and we will answer some of the questions that has been posted on the Padlet that related to transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in body fluid. So hi, the first question is what are respiratory pigments? Are metal containing protein that deliver oxygen to tissue. It can be found in most of the animal blood. The most common respiratory pigment that can be found in animals are hemoglobin, hemocyanin, chlorochlorine, and hemorythrin. They can be found in different phyla and have different colors due to the metal that they carry. So the first one is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the most common pigment that is found in vertebrate, nematode, some crustaceans, and a number of insects. It contains a heme group which contains the metal ion that give the blood red color. Its color is dark red when it is deoxygenated and turn to bright red when it is oxygenated. Next is hemocyanin. It is the second common respiratory pigment in animal. It can be found in arthropods and mollusks with blue color. Its blue color is due to the metal in the molecule, which is copper. However, it will turn to colorless when it is deoxygenated and get back to blue when it is carrying oxygen. The third one is chlorochlorine. It is one of the common respiratory pigments as well. It presents in blood plasma of annelids, especially the marine annelid. Besides, it has a similar structure to hemoglobin and carrying an iron metal as well. However, it is a green respiratory pigment. Lastly is hemorythrin. It can be found in marine invertebrate phyla of Sipengelid, Priapelids, Brachiopods, and in some annelids. Same as hemoglobin and chlorochlorine, it also carrying iron metal. However, it is violet pink when it is oxygenated and turn to colorless when it is deoxygenated.
Hi, I'm EFREANNA and I'm going to explain how oxygen bound to hemoglobin and transported to body. Hemoglobin or HB is a protein molecule found in a red blood cell, erythrocyte, which is made up of 4 subunits, 2 alpha subunits and 2 beta subunits. Each subunit surrounds a central heme group, contains iron and binds 1 oxygen molecule, allowing each hemoglobin molecule to bind to 4 oxygen molecules. Molecules with more oxygen bind to the heme group are more brighter red. So oxygenated arterial blood where the hemoglobin is carrying 4 oxygen molecules is bright red, while venous blood that is deoxygenated is darker red. So this is red blood cell. This is the hemoglobin. The gray color is the heme. This one. And red color is oxygen. The protein inside red blood cell that carried oxygen to cell and carbon dioxide to the lungs is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is made up of 4 symmetrical subunits and 4 heme group. So this is the symmetrical subunit. 1, 2, 3, and 4 with 4 heme. Ion associated with the heme binds oxygen. It is the ion in the hemoglobin that gives blood its red color. It is easier to bind a second and third oxygen molecule to hemoglobin than the first molecule, and the fourth oxygen is then more difficult to bind. This is because the hemoglobin changes in its shape or conformation as the oxygen binds. The binding of oxygen to hemoglobin can be plotted as the function of partial pressure of oxygen in the blood, the x-axis, which is this one, versus the relative hemoglobin oxygen saturation, y-axis, which is this one. This graph is oxygen dissociation curve. It is sigmoidal or S-shaped. Oxygen dissociation curve. The oxygen dissociation curve demonstrates that the partial pressure of oxygen increases. More oxygen bind to hemoglobin. However, the affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen may shift to the left or to the right depending on the environmental condition. So this is the graph redshift, or it also shift to the left. The environmental condition that causes the graph to shift right is higher CO2, lower pH, and higher temperature. Whereas the environmental condition that causes the graph to the left shift to the left is lower carbon dioxide, higher pH, and lower temperature. The transport of oxygen in the blood. Although oxygen dissolves in blood, only a small amount of oxygen is transported this way. Only 1.5% of oxygen in the blood is dissolved directly into the blood itself. Most oxygen, 98.5%, is bound to the hemoglobin and carried to the tissue. That is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is why pH levels in blood is important and what are the factors affecting the pH level in blood. So basically, the level of acid and base in our blood needs to be balanced in order to allow our body function at its best. So pH is one of the factors that influence the loading and unloading of oxygen. pH is the measure of hydrogen ion concentration in the blood. The normal cell metabolism depends on the maintenance of blood pH within very narrow limits, which are 7.35 to 7.45. The higher the hydrogen ion concentrations, the lower the pH, thus the more acidic of the blood. When the pH level is high in the alveoli, more oxygen will be bound to the hemoglobin, thus forming more oxyhemoglobins. When the pH level is high in the body tissue, more oxygen is dissociated from the oxyhemoglobins. However, the problem for the body is that the normal metabolism is associated with continuous production of hydrogen ions and carbon dioxide, both of which tends to reduce the pH level. So the mechanism that will overcome this problem and serves to maintain normal blood pH is a complex synergy of action involving chemical buffet in blood, the red cells which circulate in blood, and the function of three organs which are lungs, kidneys, and brain. Because of that, the factors that could affecting the blood pH are what is ingested, vomiting, diarrhea, lung function, endocrine function, kidney function, and urinary tract infection, which all could change the pH level in the body.
So now I'll be talking about how the oxygen and carbon dioxide circulate in fetus blood system. During pregnancy, the fetal circulatory system works differently than after birth. The fetus is connected by the umbilical cord to the placenta, the organ that develops and implants in the mother's uterus during pregnancy. through the blood vessels in the umbilical cord, the fetus receives all the necessary nutrition, oxygen, and life support from the mother through the placenta. Waste products and carbon dioxide from the fetus are sent back through the umbilical cord and placenta to the mother's circulation to be eliminated. So as you can see from the diagram, these are all the organs that are involved in the circulatory system. So this is the placenta, which where the baby take nutrition from the mother, and then the nutrients are transported through this umbilical cord directly to the fetus. In the fetus, the placenta does the work of breathing instead of the lungs. Most of the blood is bypassed or shunted away from the lungs through the ductus arteriosus to the aorta. Most of the circulation to the lower body is supplied by blood passing through the ductus arteriosus. This blood that enters the umbilical arteries and flows into the placenta. In the placenta, carbon dioxide and waste products are released into the mother's circulatory system, and oxygen and nutrients from the mother's blood are released into the fetus's blood. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.